everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet these Intarsia squares for my new blanket pattern. So you're going to want to print out the charts. They'll look something like this. There are two charts, two different squares. One looks like this with the semicircles in this orientation, and there's one other chart where each of these semicircles are flipped so that they create a circle, essentially. All you'll need to know for this video is how to work this one square. So I'm going to show you how to crochet this one square, because as long as you know how to begin at this side and start with the flat side of this semicircle and work up, and then we're going to work the curved side of this semicircle and work up. Once you know how to work these two shapes, you'll be able to create both of the squares that you need for this blanket. So here I've got two squares worked just to show you, and we are going to start from the bottom right here and work back and forth rows while changing colors, and I'll show you exactly how to do that, and we finish up at the top here. So let's get started. You will need a background color, and I'm using Basic Stitch in Ecru. And then the color for your shapes, this one is Basic Stitch in the colorway Mahogany. So my background color is this, so I'm going to begin with this one. So first we have to make our beginning chain, and you will need to work 43 chains. 41, 42, 43. Okay, and then you are going to single crochet into the second chain from your hook and in each chain across. I will meet you at the end of this row. And here's our last stitch. So that's row 1, and we are going to have to do one more row of single crochet in your same color. So just chain 1, flip, and single crochet in every single stitch across. And it doesn't matter which chart you're following, you're going to need to work 2 rows of single crochet for both. And then I will show you how to begin the color work in row 3. Okay, so we've now worked 2 rows in our background color, and I'm going to be following this chart first. So I'm going to do the semicircle with the flat edge first. If you're working the other chart, then you'll just have to wait till we get to this shape, because this is the one you're going to work first. But I'm going to show you how to do this one first. So you can see there are 2 white stitches, and then all brown, and then 2 white stitches at the end. So I'm going to get our contrasting color ready. Okay, so row 3. Chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, begin your single crochet in the second stitch, stop here. So this will still be 2 white stitches, but this is where you change color. Grab your contrasting color, create a little loop with it, and you are going to pull through to close that stitch using the next color. Adjust your tension a little bit by just tugging on both colors. And now you are working with your contrasting color. So drop your background color to the back. So it doesn't matter what side of the work you are working on. Every single time you work a color change, drop your old color to the back. And now you can kind of forget about this tail for now, and we're going to keep crocheting with this working yarn. So single crochet as normal across the row. Now that we've got a couple, let's just look and see. So now it's 2 white right here. We've got 2 white, and then now we're working brown. So work your contrasting color all the way to the end of the row, or to the last 2 stitches, or I guess the last 3 stitches, because we work our color change on that 3rd stitch. So I'll meet you with 3 stitches left in the row. Okay, and so to match the other side, we want 2 white stitches, right? So we want this one here to be white and this one to be white. So we're going to work this one in our contrasting, stop here, And then now you're going to need to either grab another background color skein to work from, or you can pull from the inside or outside of the skein you're already working on if you want to just use one. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to use the same skein as this one here. This one I pulled from the inside, so now I'm just going to work from the outside. So like here, right now I'm working from the center pull, and for this bobbin or this section of color on this side, I'm going to work from the outside. So once you get your other section of background color here, you are going to yarn over using that color to close the stitch. And we've dropped our contrasting color to the back. So now we can continue using the white to single crochet the last 2 stitches. And there we go. That was row 3. And the next row has the exact same colors in terms of the chart, so we're not doing any weird things with our floats yet. To begin row 4, chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, begin your single crochet in the next stitch. This is just our tail here. Drop your yarn to the back, and now here's our working yarn for the contrasting color. It's in the front of our work because on this row we dropped it to the back. So now you're going to yarn over using this, like that. Okay, so I'll show you one more time. So you dropped your background color, and now you've picked up your contrasting, yarn over, and close your stitch using that. And you can adjust your tension a little bit, tug on those strands a little. And now you're ready to keep on trucking across this row. So single crochet into all of the brown stitches. Keep on working across this row, and I'll meet you at the last stitch in this color. So now we're at the last stitch in our contrasting color. Insert into that last stitch, stop at this point, drop your yarn to the back, and then we're going to pick up our background color and yarn over, pull through with that. And you can give your contrasting color and background color a bit of a tug, adjust your tension, and then now you're working with your background color. You can work the last 2 stitches. Next row, chain 1. We're doing the exact same thing. You've got 8 rows of this, so maybe I'll just show you one more and then I'll meet you at the next row, which would be row 11. So let's do, okay, what are we on now? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is row 5. Every few rows, you're probably going to want to adjust the placement of your skeins just so that they're not getting all twisted and tangled. I'll probably do that shortly, but okay, here we go. So chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, but stop here, drop your yarn to the back, pick up your contrasting color, yarn over, pull through to close the stitch, tug on your strands a little bit, and now you can stitch into each one of your contrasting colors. I will meet you at the last contrasting stitch of the row. So here we're at the last contrasting stitch. Insert, pull up this loop, stop at this point, drop your yarn to the back, and you're going to pick up the strand in front, yarn over, pull through 2 to close that stitch, give them a little tug, and then you can work the last 2 single crochets in your background color. So that's how you work Intarsia when you are not doing any increasing or decreasing in your colors, but I will show you how to work. Let's see, the next one we'll do will be row 11, where we're working 3 background, all your contrasting, and 3 background over here. So I'll meet you there. You know how to do these now, so I'll see you at row 11. This is what your work should look like once you're finished row 10. Row 11, we're doing almost the same thing, but instead of 2 stitches here worked in our background color, we're going to do 3. So I'll show you how to do that now. chain 1, single crochet in these first 2 stitches, and now we're going to work our single crochet in this stitch, drop your yarn, we're going to use this, close the stitch using that color. So kind of the same, just a little bit different. Once we get to the other side though, it is also a little bit different from this side, so I'll show you how to do that. Now you're working in your contrasting color, and you can work into each stitch until we are going to stop once you are in this stitch, so 2 stitches away from your from the end of your contrasting color. Okay, so we're going to stop in this stitch. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, this is the second last contrasting color stitch in our contrasting color. So stop like this, drop your yarn to the back, pick up your background color, yarn over, close the stitch. Now here's the difference. We're gonna have to work this brown stitch as a white stitch. So this one right here, you can see there's a float now that's traveling across one stitch. So if we move it out of the way, we can see that's a stitch right here that we need to work into. And if we don't catch this stitch, let me show you what it could look like. And we'll have this yarn traveling across our stitches, and we don't want that. So what we're gonna do is make sure you go under this bar here through the stitch. Okay, so now you can see we've got our hook through the brown stitch like a regular single crochet, but we've also captured this float over top of our hook. So now when we work a single crochet, what we've done is we've captured this float in our stitch. And now this float just travels up here like this, and it mimics the other side of the single crochet, so it's nearly invisible. Now you can work the last 2 stitches. See, now it's nice and clean. And we're gonna work another row just like this one with 3 background color on either side. So I'll just do that once more. Chain 1, single crochet in the first 2, and then insert, stop at this point, drop your background color, pick up your contrasting color, there we go, and work across each of your stitches until you reach the last one. We're gonna work our color change, so we'll stop at this point in our last stitch here, yarn over with the background color, and work the last 3 stitches. Okay, and turn and chain 1. Now row 13, we're doing something similar to what we did on row 11. We are going to be working 4 background color stitches instead of 3. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, and then insert, stop at this point, drop it to the back, pick this up, close the stitch, and I'll meet you at the second last stitch in our contrasting color. So here we are in our second last stitch in our contrasting color. Drop your yarn over with your background color, and now just like we did before, we need this stitch that's hidden behind this float, we need this brown stitch to be worked in our background color. So go through the stitch like this, making sure you're going underneath this bar so that when you work your single crochet, it's trapped within your stitch, you're crocheting around it. And then finish off this row. And we've got one more row with 4 on either side in our background color. You know how to do that already, so I'll meet you at row 15. Now we're ready to begin row 15. So chain 1, work 4 single crochets like normal, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we need to change this next stitch to a background color stitch. So insert, stop at this point, drop your yarn, and close it with this stitch. And let's work to your second last stitch in your contrasting color. And then rows 15 to, I think, to row 19 are all worked the same way. So after we finish this row, we'll just skip ahead to when there's something a little different happening. So here we go. We're at our second last stitch in our contrasting color. Insert and stop at this point. And we will grab our background color. And now this stitch needs to be worked in our background color, so we're going to insert, making sure to trap, let's see, there we go, making sure to trap our float, work our single crochet, and you can see it's trapped in that stitch, and work to the end of the row. So this last row that we just did, you're going to do that for a few rows, so I will meet you at row 20, where we're doing something slightly different. So here I've just finished row 19 and we are ready to work row 20. In row 19 you will have 9 stitches in your background color on each side, and on row 20 we're not just increasing by 1, we are increasing by 2. So we're going to need to work 11 stitches here. So chain 1, work 10 as usual, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, here's where something a little different happens. So now we've worked 10 stitches, we need 11. But what we're going to do is capture this yarn in our next stitch. So instead of just working a regular single crochet like you normally would, you are going to make sure that you're capturing this in your stitch. So what we're going to have to do, move it up with your thumb a little bit and then insert. Can you see now the strand is over top of our hook? And now this is the point we stop with our background color. Our yarn has been captured, perfect. This is the one you're going to use to close the stitch. It might feel kind of funny, but this is how you create nice clean color changes with floats. So there we go. And now you've dropped your yarn to the back and you're working with your contrasting color. So let's work across all of our contrasting color stitches until there are 3 left. So now I have 3 left. Insert your hook, stop at this point, and now we are going to have to grab our background color, yarn over, pull through, and you can see our background color is now traveling over 2 stitches here. So we are going to have to insert our hook into the next stitch, making sure to go underneath our white bar here, complete your single crochet. See, we've captured it in our stitch, and do that again, making sure to grab that bar, capture it in your stitch. Perfect, and now you can keep going to the end of the row. There's no float that's traveling across multiple stitches. We've captured it in our stitch and it's nice and hidden. So keep working to the end of the row. And we're going to do the same thing on this next row. Chain 1, single crochet into each of your background color stitches. Okay, so we're going to do one more here, and then we're going to capture this strand in our stitch. So we're going to insert our hook underneath it. Okay, like this. You can see, here it is through our stitch. Drop your background color to the back. And now using your contrasting color, close the stitch. Keep going until you have 3 stitches left in your contrasting color. Here we go. I've got 3 left. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull that loop through, stop here, drop it to the back, pick up your background color, yarn over, close the stitch. Make sure you capture that float in your stitch, so you're crocheting around it to hide it. 1 and 2. See, there it is. It's nice and clean from both sides. And keep going to the end of the row. Okay, so now we're at the very last row of this shape here. So we've only got one more. So this would be row 22. So you're going to chain 1, work across all those background color stitches. Okay, we're going to work into this stitch too. First contrasting color stitch, and then the next one we're going to make sure that we crochet around it. So here it is. Stop here, drop it, and now you're going to keep crocheting with this contrasting color. Close your stitch, adjust your tension, work across until there are 3 stitches left in this color. Okay, insert, stop here, drop your yarn. And using this, we're going to close the stitch, and then we're going to single crochet in those 2 contrasting color stitches, but make sure you're crocheting around that long float to hide it. So keep on going to the end of the row. Okay, now we've just finished row 22. We've finished this shape. So you can grab your scissors. We're going to keep using this strand, so don't cut this one, the one that's closest to your hook, but you can cut this just long enough so that you can weave it in, and you can cut this here as well. And if you look at your chart, you'll see that now, before you work the next semicircle, you need 4 rows of single crochet worked in just your background color. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you back here at row 27 so we can begin the next semicircle. Here we're ready to begin row 27, and row 27 begins with a chain 1 and then 15 stitches in our background color before we change to our contrasting. So let's do those 15. Here's our 15th stitch, and now we're ready to join in our contrasting color. So grab that, yarn over with your contrasting color, and pull through. Drop your yarn to the back. Now continuing with your contrasting color, you need 12 stitches in this color. This is our 12th, so stop here, drop your yarn, and now pick up your other strand of background color. Here's mine, and we'll put it on your hook, pull through, and work to the end of the row using this yarn. If you want to minimize your tails, you definitely can crochet over your tails as well if you choose to do that. So I'll do that here. Just give it a little tug so that your tension is nice and even here. So you can see I'm just crocheting around it so it's totally hidden in the stitch. Okay, on the next row, row 28, the way our colors are changing is that we'll work 2 fewer in our background color and 2 more in our contrasting on each side. So chain 1, we'll work until our 3rd last stitch in this color. So here we go, 1, 2, 3 left. So stop here, drop your yarn. And this time we're gonna grab our contrasting color. Now this is the one with the float. And we need to work these, get out of the way for a second, these 2 white stitches need to be worked in our contrasting color. So here we go, insert into the next stitch. Make sure you're capturing this yarn in the stitch like that, and one more. There it is. And then work into each one of your contrasting color stitches. Let's just move the tail over here. So now you're going to work into this first background color stitch, and then we are going to capture this little float while we work this stitch. So you can see here it is, it's coming up into our stitch. Drop your contrasting color, and now with this strand that you've pulled through the stitch, you're going to close that stitch and work to the end of your row. Next row we're doing the same thing. Chain 1 and single crochet until your 3rd last stitch in this color. So here's my 3rd last. I'm gonna stop at this point, drop your yarn, and close the stitch with your contrasting color. So now we're ready to work these next 2 background color stitches in our contrasting color. Make sure you're capturing the float and complete your stitch. And once more, here we go. Now work each of your contrasting stitches. So now we need 2 more. So we're gonna work 1 here, and then 1 more capturing this yarn here. So here we go, there it is. There's our strand. Drop your contrasting color, pick up your background color, close the stitch, and work to the end of the row. Now at this point, you've worked all of the color changing techniques that you need in order to complete the entire chart and to complete the other chart where these shapes are flipped. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. And make sure to tag me in any photos of your finished blanket. I can't wait to see.